That's more like it. That is more like it.
As expected.
As expected. That's more like it. The Oilers with a 3-0 shutout victory in Dallas to get the split against the Stars, and even this conference final up at 1. Coming home Sunday, Tom Gazzola, Dustin Nielsen, Hernan Salas with you. Live on location, Hudson's West Edmonton Mall on Bourbon Street. Great vibe today.
Awesome vibe.
Oh, the Nasties had the whole back room. You could hear
that
them.
back room is going, buddy.
It was wild. Even the staff was like, what's going on back there?
My buddy Boom signed like 7 autographs tonight. He's in heaven.
I went and said hi to Boom, and he's like, Tommy, is that you? I'm like,
yeah.
Hello, Boom.
He is absolutely just stunned by the Nasties back there. He's like, I cannot believe that you guys built something like this. Like,
yes.
it was a great night tonight. Everybody came out.
Night.
If Pickard played, they'd have 4 shutouts in a row, I guess.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm here for all those. I had to come for all the receipts.
All the receipts. You know what?
Has an Oilers goalie ever had 3 shutouts in 4 playoff games?
They do now.
I don't think so. So it's Stuart Skinner. But they'll never win a game with this guy. He never makes a big save for them. So that's a really tough look for a bunch of people. I just had somebody on Twitter.
What are you going to say when they lose in 6? What are you going to say when they lose game 3?
May I say, gentleman sweep, fully engaged. There are still people tweeting at me, and I can read some of these tweets if you want.
Please, enlighten us.
Somebody referred to this as the sketchiest shutout he's ever seen.
What?
This is one that says he's the most hot and cold goalie, Nielsen. It's okay to say that. He's the Bouchard of goaltending.
Bouchard has been playing great,
Bouchard's been great. Matt Park says it's funny because he has a save percentage between 840 and 990. It's either he's really bad or a shutout. Maybe he's not really bad in those other games, and you just need to take a reality check.
Oh, my God.
This one is a retweet of my tweet that says 3 shutouts in 4 games. They'll never win games with this guy. This guy just retweeted and said, don't ask about the other games. This guy people are still shitting on him.
Yes.
He's got 3 shutouts in 4 games.
Yeah.
It's the most... Tommy, I won't be on long tonight. I'll say that.
I'm happy you're on.
Can I start it with, and I know some people might hate this because it was Skinner, but can I get a Huinya? Like, how do you people not realize that they are winning this series? I said it after game 1. This series is going 5, maybe 6. See, it's end of story. It's like there are still people. He's got 3 shutouts in 4 games. And I've still got people on Twitter being like, come on, you guys. This is ridiculous. They should have won 6-0 tonight. Like, they hit a bunch of posts. By far the better team. End of story.
Both games. I mean, they've had one bad period to their credit, and outside of that, they've owned this series. They cleaned up their PK tonight, absolutely, and then their power play, I believe it clicked again. So, Dusty, it did. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins once again.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and I know I love Oiler fans. I know Oiler fans are some that are irritating, but we piss them off sometimes as much as they piss us off. It's a two-way street, and that's part of watching and covering and following and loving a team. It's not always easy. It's a bumpy road, but there are some people. There are just some that will say 16-0 in the postseason is not good enough.
It's just, you guys, I get it. You don't like some of the goals he allows.
Neither do I. I don't.
Stuart Skinner has 3 shutouts in his last 4 games in the playoffs. Curtis Joseph didn't do that.
No, he didn't.
Billy Ranford didn't do that.
I'm
not saying he's better than those guys, but I'm saying that he deserves your respect more than the way you treat him like shit. And I know I put out my tweet tonight being like, how about the save he made tonight? Like, he makes big saves, and there's still people on Twitter who were like, yeah, but what about the other games? He's got 3 shutouts in 4 games. How about you enjoy it? How about you realize your team's as much of a wagon as the Panthers are in the East, and just enjoy it. They were great tonight. They should have won by even more, and they won by 3 with a shutout. They're winning the Stanley Cup. I mean, they are. Hernan, you got my back on this. They're winning the
buddy,
cup.
When the Oilers are on, there's no one better. And listen, they're right there with Florida. Florida and Edmonton are played at another level. They are. Look at Dallas today. There's no excuses for them. They could have went in and put a stamp on this series, and the Oilers dominated them. Guys, it wasn't even close. Not at one point. Sure, Dallas had some stretches. They had some good shots and some good looks. But, like, come on. And people rather the Oilers do bad, so their point is correct. And that's the sad thing about this. And now it's all of a sudden the team in front of the goalie. Nothing to do with the goalie.
This is Hernan. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, now it's the guys in front of the goalie. When they win, it's the guys in front of the goalie.
This is what I'm talking about.
Really?
Chief Andy, who is a known Skinner hater, in the chat says 3 shutouts, courtesy of the team in front of him.
Oh,
I am sorry. You cannot constantly. You can't. Here's the thing: if Stuart Skinner loses a game, it's not the team in front of him. It's on Stuart Skinner, and then he gets 3 shutouts in 4 games, and we got idiots like Chief Andy in the chat saying it's because of the team in front of him. Andy, go away. Go check out the Got Your Back podcast or the Oilers Nation postgame, because you're not wanted here anymore. Okay? But I'm serious. Guys like Chief Andy should just leave, because you're bringing down a fan base that wants to be excited about a convincing 3-0 victory tonight, and you're still bitching about a goaltender. Think about this. You're bitching about a goaltender who has 3 shutouts in 4 games. Like, what are we doing in this market? Go away, man. Nobody wants you here. Everybody else in the chat's probably amazing tonight.
Yeah.
But go away, buddy. Like, it's ridiculous.
Wow. Hey, guys, just to get back to the game, like the first period, Tom, you, Gager, and I were watching the game, and we were like Dallas didn't have much. Then I watched the second period with Boom and Dusty, and it was pure domination. And like Dusty said, Tom, this could have been 5-6-0. 5-6-0.
Yeah, there was posts. They were by far the better team again. Like, it's what we said after game 1. They're not losing to the Dallas Stars. It's a non-factor. Move on to the next series. Like, it's one of those things where, guys, what did we say after game 1? Everybody calm the F down. And listen, I understand fans, and because we've all been fans, and you're living in the heat of the moment. I understand that, and I get that.
Yes.
But at the same time, guys, they had 6 bad minutes in that game, and it cost them. Tonight, they didn't have more than a minute bad consecutively, and they dominated this game. I'm sorry, and maybe I'm overreacting, and maybe I'm overly positive, but if the Oilers play like they did tonight, guys, and they played for 54 minutes in game 1, Dallas is not winning this series. Not even close, guys. It's not close. Watch Florida, Carolina. It's the same thing.
It's a done deal. Like, I understand that there will be people who want to doubt this team, but Tommy, like, I'm not a homer. Like, I've called this
like the Montreal Canadiens.
But I also, like, I've said things about this team over the few years that, like, OEG's got pissed about.
Yes, they still bring it. Guys that don't even work there still hate us because of stuff we have said in the past.
But this team, I mean, they're not losing to Dallas. And you can despise Stuart Skinner, but he's got 3 shutouts in 4 games, and the team in front of him was great tonight.
Yeah.
But we know that about this team. So this was a very encouraging victory tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
was it a redeeming victory?
I mean, the penalty kill was good.
Yes, it was. Finally.
So that's good.
Hallelujah.
And I'm just watching that Skinner save again. That's a great save. Like, if Calvin Pickard makes that save, Chief Andy's like, oh, Pickard's amazing. Like, that was a great save.
Dare I say good lateral movement?
Well, not really. I mean, he reached with the stick. But still, it was a great save. It doesn't matter how you get in front of it, as long as you get in front of it.
That was Curtis Joseph's MO.
Was
he didn't do it the pretty way. He just got it done, and he did it however he could, and we kind of saw that there. So that is a good response from Stu Skinner. I know that there was probably a ton of pressure on him, and I'm encouraged by the fact that he didn't wither with all that pressure and everything that happened in game 1. He actually fought through it, was strong, and helped them have a 3-0 victory.
And you know what? He made saves outside, like after he made the paddle save. He made another great save.
He had a breakaway save. That was important.
How about that save? How about that breakaway save?
When I saw the break, I'm like, okay, do what Calvin Pickard has done and stop the breakaway. And he did. He did. So he deserves his flowers just as much as he deserves the crap that comes with having a stinker of a game or letting in a crappy goal. So he played great. The team in front of him played good. It's nice when they do it in unison and they have that cohesion. You get a result like this against a very good Dallas Stars team. They played 5 of 6 periods very well, where they've won those periods, I would say.
I just want to clarify for anybody on the chat, it was me who just put Chief Andy in a 24-hour timeout because I don't need that garbage on the stream tonight. I'm sorry. They're all unjustified takes.
You are the founder of this station.
Check back in later, bud.
Chief Andy has been very consistent with that.
Check this out. Stat of the night, courtesy of Brian Swain. Oilers in playoffs when McDavid or Draisaitl score. They are 4-4. You guys know their record when McDavid or Draisaitl do not score?
Tell me.
5-0.
That's a sign of a team that is championship caliber.
I don't know how they could go 5-0 when McDavid and Draisaitl don't score if Stuart Skinner's their goalie. That's weird.
Oh, weird.
That's strange to me. That's weird because I was told for the last 2 days that he can't make big saves and he's not a big game goalie. So that's really strange to me about that stat.
You mean the guy that went to Game 7 of the Cup final last year?
I guess that guy, and the guy who's also the best Game 4 to 7 goalie. And even this is remarkable to me, but he's the best Game 4 to 7 goalie in the history of the league. So that's strange. But they should probably trade him in the offseason.
I did hear that today. I'm not going to lie to you. Anything else? I know this is your Friday too.
I mean,
that's
pretty much it. I don't have time. Like, I understand after the last game, people hopping on and ripping Stuart Skinner.
Sure.
And I defended him then, and I know I look like a tool to some of you, but there are still people ripping Stuart Skinner after a 3-0 victory and his 3rd shutout in 4 games.
Unreal.
If Leafs fans treated their team like this, we would be mocking them relentlessly. And I know it's not all of you. It's like 10 to 15% of you. But I don't understand what this team would ever have to do to make you happy. And, I mean, as a guy who helped launch what we're doing with many of you, I just don't understand why you wouldn't be happy for a goalie who just set a franchise record with 3 shutouts in 4 games.
From your city.
It's weird to me. So I would just tell people to probably enjoy the victory tonight. Know that there's 3 more in a row coming for a gentleman's sweep and be ready for the Florida Panthers. That's going to be the end of my time on the post-game show tonight.
You were great.
And somebody had to pop in here and time out Chief Andy because they won 3-0 tonight. You can't tell me that he's a fan of this hockey team because this should be a very happy chat tonight.
Yep.
And if you're going to slide in here and criticize, you don't belong. So have a great post-game, guys. I'm looking forward to Reed Wilkins. And I'm looking forward to Matt Kassian.
You got to win, yeah.
And can we get a win, yeah, here?
Win, yeah.
Dusty,
good night,
Thank you. Go have fun with Boom.
Good night, everybody.
All right, there's Dusty Nielsen. Thank you, Dusty, for hopping on. And, I mean, it takes a lot to get him that fired up. And I think what happened the other night and on his show yesterday got him that fired up. And then to have that response today and after the way Stu Skinner and the team in front of him played, you heard Dusty talking about the receipts. So I know, hey, listen, as we welcome in Matt Kassian, our game analyst, I know there were people that were still upset about how things went on the post-game show the other night. And listen, man, it's emotional. Pre- and post-game's emotional. The stakes are higher. People want the cup. They've been waiting. They've been desperate for it. There's a burden on Canadian teams to get it done. This Canadian team almost got it done. This Canadian team might get it done. It's certainly marching towards that potential being realized. And things will be said. So, I think Dusty was genuinely put off by some of the things that were said towards him. And he had his 10 minutes to vent. He got it off his chest as we let's welcome in Cass. Cass, I know we don't always agree with our listeners and our viewers, but that was pretty epic, what Dusty said there.
He's pretty fired up. The big boy's fired up. let him have the heat. Let him have it. And Chief Andy will have his 24-hour cool-off period. Then he'll get out of jail.
Yes.
Just a one-night thing.
Yes.
So that's okay. And Chief, if you're still listening, we do love you. We disagree with a lot of your takes, and that's okay. But I get the frustration is because you could have pretty predictably say that, it's the team in front of them. Like you knew that's what was coming with it. When it would never be the team in front of them when they lose. And listen, Stuart Skinner, and we talked about it. He wasn't fantastic in game one. He wasn't. He wasn't. There was one goal in particular, maybe two with a Granlund one included, where you didn't like him that much. They weren't fantastic. He did not help. But he was rock solid tonight. Now the team was also rock solid tonight. They kind of did what we hoped they would do, which is be a much better team 5-on-5. Their special teams was better today. They won the special teams, so they won the 5-on-5 battle. They were better, created more chances, more opportunities, more goals 5-on-5. Power play, more goals than Dallas's power play. Like they just kind of ticked all the boxes here in this one. It was a solid game. I think about as solid as you can expect. And it was even, and I know they end up with 3, but it kind of felt like they only needed 1 tonight. Yeah. Kind of through the whole game, didn't it, guys? Like it just was like they were just steady. They were just steady. Like there was no panic. I had a little nerves. I don't know how you guys felt, but a little nerves on the penalty kills.
100%, Cass. 100%.
Which is fair, right?
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, no, they got this. Like it didn't feel in jeopardy, or I wasn't nervous about it. I was like, no, they're going to lock it down. They're fine. I'm like, it's not going to overtime. It's going to be regulation win. They got this. And that's exactly what we got. I mean, I know we can kind of laugh and we joke about Dusty and the gentleman's sweep, and it still may not happen. Dallas is a good team. They're going to push, but really hard after seeing the first 2 games, really hard for me to envision Dallas finding a way to win without something dramatically changing, i.e. injury, something crazy happening.
Cass,
go ahead.
It's interesting watching this Dallas team because, they had decent looks today for sure. I mean, every team's going to get them in a 60-minute game, but are you surprised kind of with the top-end talent that the Dallas Stars have in the forward group? You're not seeing a lot. Like again, they haven't been terrible. I wouldn't go that far, but I was expecting Mikko Rantanen to be all over these first 2 games. He hasn't.
He had one good chance tonight.
Wyatt Johnson.
One good look.
Wyatt Johnson, invisible, who's a hell of a player. Like, are you a little surprised what we're seeing from some of the top end talent of Dallas?
I am.
Go ahead, Cass.
Rantanen still scares me sometimes. Mm-hmm. Right, he still scares me sometimes with the puck, but largely he's been ineffective. And I think that has to do with Edmonton's. Well, the defense too. I'll give the defense credit too, but with the forwards putting themselves in a position to support, like where there just have been layers. Like they haven't tonight, especially they haven't given up like free lanes and free walks. So Rantanen hasn't been able to spin off and just walk to the net by himself. Like if he has had half a step, there's been support and center support there. Now that's Rantanen. Now Johnson, I would say he has been completely non-existent.
Yeah,
like he hasn't seemed threatening. He hasn't been around it. Not generating opportunities. Robertson, I think we have some sympathy for that coming back from an injury. Don't know if he's all the way. Actually, fairly certain he's not all the way.
Definitely not
yet.
Yeah,
definitely not. But beyond that, the rest of the top guys, we're just not seeing much. Heinz, we'll see if he comes back, but he's been another guy that's been pretty non-existent, like just ineffective and ineffectual so far in the series. And one of those guys, if Dallas wants to have any kind of a hope of winning this thing, like Johnson, Heinz, and need to have a heck of a series the rest of the way, and you're going to have to get some bigger contributions from Rantanen, which he's capable of doing. He just hasn't so far.
Is that kudos to the Oilers and their game planning for him, or is that him just not bringing it, not having it in this series so far?
I wouldn't say it's a game plan for just Rantanen, but I would just say it's like Edmonton, their game plan execution. Like it's not the game plan that just revolves around shutting down Rantanen, right. But they have just been so effective aside from the third period in game one, they've been so effective 5-on-5. They haven't been turning pucks. So like how many times, and we could go all the way back to the LA series. How many times in this series have we seen both the Oilers defense turn over pucks right around their own net, which that just happened frequently right at the start of playoffs.
Yes.
It hasn't been happening. And how many times, aside from Leon Draisaitl in game one, have we seen the Oilers forwards turn over the puck at the offensive blue line? They haven't really. Like Leon had the one that ends up in the back of their net on the Sagan goal in game one. But aside from that, they've been very, very good at not turning over pucks around their net and not turning over pucks at the offensive blue line. And to me, that side or that part of their game plan has just really limited some of that transition game of Dallas, where those players like Rantanen and like Robertson and like Heinz, like they just haven't, and Johnson as well, just haven't been able to feast off of those turnovers in that transition like they like to.
Cass, further to and an extension of what you just said, Gager was here and he watched the first two periods with us here at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. And I just said to Gager, I'm like, hey, Joaquin, when you watch them in the last couple of weeks, do you notice that they're just putting pucks into safe areas, even when it's not an attacking play? Or they just, if they sense danger or pressure, they put pucks to a safe area. And Gager said yes. I don't know if he was saying it to make me feel better, but he agreed. But Cass, am I on to something when there might be some trouble? Instead of making the risky play, they always make the safe play. And that's something, to me at least, I'm noticing compared to in the regular season where they're like, you know what, I'm going to fire this one up the middle of the ice. Now it just, they'll knock it to a safe place where somebody from their team is, and they'll go scoop it up, regroup, and make the play. Am I crazy in thinking that, or are we actually seeing a lot of that?
I think we're absolutely seeing a lot of that. Absolutely seeing a lot of that. As Gong Show is in on the nasty chat and says Bouchard especially moving the puck up the boards instead of laying an egg in the middle of the ice to be picked up.
He's and that's prime example.
Huge part of it. And I think it was in game one, last game. Actually, maybe it wasn't last game. Maybe it was the last game against Vegas to close out the series, where I think we had a comment, and I made a comment on the post-game show where I was like, it was the first time I think I can recall that I saw Evan Bouchard look to the middle and be like, nope, and just chip it off the wall and out. And it was the right play and the safe play. And it feels like that is what they are doing. And not just feels like, it is what they are doing. And that's why the play around their own net is better. That's why the play at the offensive blue line is better. And they haven't had as many odd man rushes against in the last number of games, because they're just not throwing pucks to dumb areas on a hope and a prayer. Now there's a time and a place to try to do that, right? Like there's a time and a place for Leon and for Connor and for those guys to make those high skill plays. But even for them, they're saying this isn't the time and this isn't the place. And it's been the right decision more often than not to make the safe play, make the smart play, and not give up opportunities in transition with all kinds of speed coming against you.
Yes. And I think we were watching the game with Gager there, and he pointed out exactly what you guys are talking about. Draisaitl made a play where usually he's trying to make a sauce pass or trying to create some offense, but it was just a simple play.
Backhand.
You know what's interesting, boys? We had a guest on Tuesday from Dallas, and he said Dallas is not going to win this series just with the special teams and Ottinger, being unreal. Right now, boys, I'll be honest. I feel like that's the only way they can win this series. 5-on-5, the Oilers it's not close, guys. And it might change. Who knows? I don't know what DeBoer can do with his lines to change that. But do you agree that the way I'm seeing it is special teams and Ottinger is the only ones that can steal this series away from the Oilers?
Go ahead, Cass.
I'm gonna sort of agree. I'm going to one-up you here, though, and I'm going to say the Oilers are the only team that can steal this series from the Oilers.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I think you're right. Like, if Dallas somehow does find a way and finds a way to win a game, I think it's going to be most likely because their power play overcomes Edmonton's penalty kill, and Ottinger is really, really good. But I think to get to that point even, I still think Edmonton Oilers have to take, they have to take their foot off the gas. They have to take their foot off the gas. And if they do, well, then Dallas has a chance at it. If Edmonton just continues to make those same smart plays, and McDavid and Draisaitl are playing at the level they're at, they're getting some assistance from the depth. The penalty kill is not just leaky. I can't see Dallas beating them. I can't. If Dallas beats them, it's not because Dallas just plays so well that Edmonton couldn't keep up. It's because Edmonton didn't execute how they're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out for the night, but I just wanted to...
No, I agree 100%, Cass. Sometimes it's the Oilers. They're their biggest hurdle, right? It's just playing the right way, doing the right things. Yep. But, it's hard to say because even in that Vegas series, they didn't have many bad games. Even the game they lost, it was, with 0.03 seconds left. It was just a crazy play and all that. But the Oilers have honed in on the details. Like, it's you look at a guy like Evan Bouchard, who in the LA series we were talking about poorly for the first 3-4 games, and now Cass, let's be honest, we're not even bringing him up because he's been so solid.
Nope.
There's no one on this D-core that we can talk about in a poor way right now. No one.
No, not. I mean, and Stetcher was solid tonight as well. I mean, he's been solid since he stepped into the lineup. He's played really, really well and given them really good minutes. Kulak has been really, really good. Darnell Nurse has evened out and now is two-handing guys and hopefully not suspended. I don't think he will be. We can talk about that in a minute. But Darnell Nurse has been steady, and Bouchard is probably the from the start of the playoffs until now. This is the Evan Bouchard we've been wanting all year. Right? Like, this is the Evan Bouchard we were waiting for. This is the Evan Bouchard we saw in playoffs last year. And this is the Evan Bouchard, on top of not having to talk about him, how many complaints have we had come into the nasty chat of, ooh, you're going to have to pay Evan Bouchard, 10.5 or 11 million. Haven't seen those with how he's playing right now, and nor should we. But yeah, he's been rocking. So, I mean, the defensive core as a whole today was very, very stable, very good.
All right. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. This is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. The Oilers win 3-0 over the Dallas Stars and even up the series at 1 apiece. Game 3 will be Sunday, 1 p.m. start. We're on the air at 11:30 from the Canadian Ice House. Of course, you can text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat. A lot of texts, a lot of nasty chats. Dusty came in, guns a-blazing off the top of the show, and we'll get to as many things as we can, text-wise and nasty chat-wise. This is, of course, the breakdown with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. The breakdown is always brought to you by South Fort Chev. Go see Daniel and his team in the Fort, and they'll give you $1,000 extra credit on your trade-in. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. See deal for details, www.southfortchev.com. Sorry, boys, I was a little bit distracted. I've been taking care of a bunch of stuff, trying to get it sorted out here at the Bourbon Street location of Hudson's. Can we go into the locker room and hear some reaction and then talk about that? Is that cool with you, Cass? Want to do that? Yep. Nod of approval. All right. Who do you want to hear from first, Connor McDavid or Zach Hyman? I'll leave that up to you, Hernan.
Let's go with the captain, Connor McDavid.
Okay.
Here he is.
Yeah.
You got pitch shutouts.
All right, here we go. Yes, we can play defense.
3 out of 4 games pitched a shutout. It tells us that you really dialed you guys' game in here. You got to be pretty happy with what you did tonight.
Yeah, we're a different team than we have been in years past. Probably not as run and gun as we've been in the years past, as I just said. But as I keep saying, we can play defense. Stu was great. A couple breakdowns there that I didn't like, especially in the third, but he was great.
You guys go on a run like this, 3 out of 4 games here. What are the details that you think are the most dialed in to be able to do this?
The forwards are coming back really hard. Everyone's selling out, blocking shots. It's that time of year. That's what it takes. it's been fun to watch.
Connor, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but some of your better performances now come after kind of devastating losses. What does that say about this team?
We always know we bounce back. We believe that we're a good team with our in a tough situation. Down one on the road, got to find a way to have your best game, and we had a good one. Found a way to get a win.
You guys seem to be sometimes your worst enemy. You guys, sometimes you shoot yourselves in the foot. When you don't do that, you feel like confidence that you guys can beat any team in the league. When you don't make those mistakes, then put it back in.
I think when any team doesn't make big mistakes, they're a pretty good team. They've got a pretty good chance to win. Obviously, we feel that too. When we defend and everyone's bought in like that, we know we're going to find enough offense somewhere.
It seems like you came in here, sorry Ryan, it seems like you came in here and had 5 pretty good periods. Going back home now, how do you sort of feel about the series overall?
Yeah, we feel good, you win game 1, you lose game 2, you feel maybe a little bit wonky. You lose game 1, you win game 2, you feel pretty good. So obviously we feel pretty good about where we're at. As you said, 5 pretty good periods. We came for a split, we got a split. Got to go back it up at home.
Stu said that the other night he felt like he needed to maybe battle a little bit harder with a few of the screens and such. Tonight, watching him in there, did it feel like he was battling in that way?
I think as players you don't get an appreciation for how hard the goalie battles. We got our own thing to worry about. We trust he's going to do his job back there and battle and try to see the puck and make every save he can, and he did that tonight. He made every save. Obviously that's a good night for goalie.
Winning the special teams, winning the special teams battle here, Connor, too. Like you grabbed the power play goal, killed goal, big swing.
Yeah, big kill there in the third. Big kill in the first as well. Their power play's been really good at home. Obviously a little bit, shell-shocked after game 1 there on the kill, and found a way to shut them out on the kill, which is always a good thing. And power play found one. When you win the special teams battle, you always got a chance.
Connor, last year Zach was a goal-scoring machine. This year he's a hitting machine. How does that role evolve so dramatically?
Well, I think everyone's taken on a little bit of a different role. This whole team has. As I said, it's probably not as run and gun. It's probably not as entertaining to watch for the folks at home, but, we're winning games, and that's all that really matters. Guys are doing everything they can to help this team win.
Brett Kulak adds to the list of goal scorers on this team. Does it feel kind of like a more complete team maybe than it has in the past in terms of just guys can chip in from everywhere?
You go to the finals last year, you're a game away from winning. You're a pretty complete team. But yeah, we're a complete team up and down the lineup. We got good players all over. Everybody's contributing. Everybody's checking. A lot of good things.
Kind of going off that mentality of finding offense, however you can get it. A lot of tips tonight, deflections, going hard to the net. Is that the type of effort, kind of offensively, that you can expect, not necessarily the highlight reel ones, but those big plays?
Well, we can score the highlight reel ones too every now and then, but this time of year it takes some ugly ones and getting to the net. Obviously this team defends really well. Dallas, they got a great goalie. You got to make it hard on them. Get bodies there, pucks there, find a way to bang one in, and we get kind of 2 that way. And
Jake Wellman was saying real quick that your goal is to try to see like you guys have 10 guys on the ice whenever you're on defense. Like, what is sort of that message about not only building that continuity, but looking back at your last 4 games and going, you've shut people out in 3 of them, and that clearly things are working well.
Yeah, we know how to defend. Sound like a broken record, but we know how to play defense. And as I said, everybody's bought in. Everybody's tracking. The D are holding their gap, defending that blue line and breaking pucks out and not spending too much time in there. That always helps. And Stu's there whenever we need him.
Just one quick one on Game 3. This is a rare occasion where you're not going to touch the ice until you drop the puck for Game 3. Matinee, I don't know if you've ever played a playoff matinee.
No, I haven't. No.
What do you think? What do you think of heading home into Game 3 in a sort of a unique situation?
Yeah, I think whatever team's ready to roll is going to have the advantage. it's got to be us. We got to make sure that we're ready to go right from puck drop. Long travel day tomorrow, quick turnaround. Got to be ready.
He has not played in a matinee playoff game. I know that's very rare. Some people have been actually asking and talking about that heading into Sunday's game, just kind of taking a peek past game number 2 and saying, well, this is weird. This is where I know weird, rare, and there were others saying, I don't like it. I understand. I don't think we've seen an Oilers matinee playoff game. I don't know if we've ever seen it. I can't remember the early 90s or the 80s. I would think back then it was traditionally a late night game, 6 o'clock start, 7 o'clock start. I know the NHL does 6 o'clocks on Sundays, but he's like, nope, never played one. So that was interesting. But the 2 quotes I got from him, guys, was you go to the finals and you're 1 game away from winning. You're a pretty complete team. So backing up his group and saying, yes, this is a championship caliber team. And then right off the top, as the scrum was starting, he goes, yes, we can defend. I kind of like him being sassy.
Yeah,
I think
sassy.
that's a good thing, you guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, a little fat and sassy. Some sassy comments.
Because he was like, here we go. And like he kind of smiled and said, yes, we can play defense. Like
fantastic.
Yep.
What does that tell you, Cass?
Well, I mean, I love this ass. This ass is just fun. This ass is just fun. But what I pulled from that and the comment that he was making and the point that he was making, and he said it a couple times right off the hop and then reiterated again, is like, we know how to play defense. We know how to play defense. We know how to play defense. He must have said that 3 or 4 times in slightly different ways. And the reality is yeah, they do, but knowing is different than doing. And there have been many times they haven't done. That being said, right now they're doing, which is fantastic, and it shows. And I understand the sassiness because, yeah, we've been asking. Everyone's been asking. A lot of people have been asking about their ability to play defense because they have given up and given up and given up and given up. They gave up 6 goals against in game 1. So, yeah, people are going to ask, even after what they did to Vegas, you're going to ask because that is habitually what we have seen at times over the course of the season. Yes. With that being said, hey, if they keep playing defense like they did tonight, it's going to be pretty tricky for anybody to beat them.
Guys, I got a quote from Mr. DeBoer. Okay, this is regarding Darnell Nurse, Rupe Hintz incident. He says, does anyone in this room think if Connor McDavid gets carried off the ice like that, it's not a 5-minute major?
Not with that slash.
I thought that was just a regular slash, guys.
Me too, man.
There's a 2. Yeah, and ref was staring right at it. Like they're going to go check for 5. Of course they're going to, but I think they knew the whole time that was going to be 2. It wasn't. It just caught the ketchup guy. So we're going to call him now because there's Dallas fans in the nasty chat that have been saying we're saying it wrong. So I'm just going to call him Ketchup Man. Ketchup Man took it in the foot. I think it broke it. But I think it just caught him in a way that for whatever reason did some damage, but it wasn't like it was absolutely vicious. And
he initiated the contact.
There you go. I was just about to say, if you don't want that slash,
sorry, Cass, sorry.
Check Darnell Nurse in the back. No, it's fine because I agree with you.
780-218-9999. The Oilers win 3-0 in game 2 over the Dallas Stars. Let's go to Mike from New Brunswick. Mike texting in says, Tom, I love Dusty's rant. Stu was great. Oilers were clinical. Shout out to Stetcher for his game. And I thought Kapanen was great. And by the way, I love Nurse being mean. To hell with Hintz. Don't mess with the oil. Mike from New Brunswick. Bad Andy had something to say. No, I want to go to Big Dave instead. It says, Stu has played 6 playoff games, won 4 of them. 50% of those 6 games, he had a shutout. You can't ask for more than that. Hellebuck, Bennington, Bobrovsky, and Kemper couldn't do that, and all of those guys had better stats during the season than Stu. That text coming in from Big Dave. Dex likes the gentleman's sweep. He says, let's go, gentleman's sweep. Brandon says, Bouchard is playing great. That pass to McDavid on the Kulak goal was mint all the D. One of the Leafs' problem was their defense. They can't move the puck. Also, one of the Stars' problems right now. Oilers look better than last year because their defense are excellent at moving the puck, making tape-to-tape passes, and if the passes aren't there, making safe plays and clearing the zone. So Brandon reiterating what we were saying, they're putting pucks in safe areas. Adam from Lloyd texting in. Adam from Lloyd says, holy boys, what a convincing win tonight. Skinner was solid tonight. Stu, looking forward to afternoon day drinking on Sunday and to the incoming gentleman's sweep. On a side note, did Dusty run there or is he pretty full? He sounds like he's been working at one. LOL. Have a good night, boys. Play La Bamba. Woo! That's Adam from Lloyd. I'll just say this, guys. Dusty, I said it earlier, he's been taking the heat a lot in the playoffs, especially when Skinner plays bad, and people have been coming at him, us, whenever we defend Stuart Skinner. We do throw our shade at Stu Skinner when he plays bad. That was Dusty, I think, popping off and vent. You saw Reed pop off and vent a bit on the post-game show the other night, completely within reason. Dusty's been getting it more than Reed, I think, and that was him backing up what he feels and what he said the other night. And so I know a lot of people have been asking about him, but, listen, man, there's give and take to this, like I said earlier, and sometimes people are merciless. Sometimes people say things that are way over the line. Sometimes people come after your character, your integrity, and this is Dusty's station. He started and founded it. He's the host of the morning show, and he needed to vent, and he brought his receipts. So I'll leave it at that, okay? All right. Please keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. Cass, just give us a look ahead to Sunday afternoon. If you're the Oilers, now what?
Now what? You keep the train a-rolling here, Tom. You keep the train a-rolling. I think you don't want to give an inch. You don't want to give the inch. And I think you have to think through this one because it is a matinee, because it's a little bit different for a playoff game. It's going to have a different feel to it from a day standpoint. You want to try to take advantage and not be caught napping, sleeping, not ready. 1 p.m., that's normally when guys are sleeping after their pregame meal. So it's a little bit of a different day that's going to have a different feel. And the team that is better prepared at the start of the game is going to win that hockey game. And at the end of the day, guys, if Edmonton plays how Edmonton is capable of playing, Dallas doesn't have the game to match them. So it's on Edmonton. It's on the Oilers. If they can drive, if they can execute, if they can come out and play their best, they will win this hockey game.
One last note for you. One last thing, Cass, just on being at home on an afternoon game. We expect the Oilers fans to be crazy and loud and all that, but is it more of the same? Harness the energy, take in the good, leave out the bad, or is it jump on this train and let it roar?
It's just keep the screw you in your game.
I like that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. Screw you, we're winning this. Bottom line.
I have a lot of time for that mindset. Cass, excellent stuff tonight. As always, my friend, enjoy your weekend. We will see you for game number 4, all right?
You will, because I'll be in the crowd for game number 5.
Lucky guy.
Got a date with my lady. It'll be fun. Yep.
Well, you and Mandy have a great date night. Joaquin will be filling in for you. Big shoes to fill, but he's great too.
Yep, he is. And you might catch me in the crowd. You will. It'll be fun.
All right, there you go. There's our game analyst.
This is going to be good.
All right, Matt Kassian, good stuff as always. Matt Kassian and the breakdown brought to you by South Fort Chev. What we're going to do is we're going to go back inside the Oilers locker room, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have Reed Wilkins on for Reed's Read. So right now, let's hear from, is it Zach Hyman?
Correct.
Cancel? All right, Here is Zach Hyman following Edmonton's 3-0 victory in Dallas tonight.
Heading into the third period, I guess, is there any discussion about locking it down in the third period this time?
Just stay out of the box. I thought special teams were good for us tonight, so the one that they did get, we were able to kill, which, if you don't let them get one, the crowd doesn't get into it, and then you're in a good spot.
Zach, you have nearly 100 hits in these playoffs, and I think during the regular season you ranked 5th on the hits. Is this a role that's evolved, assigned, took it on yourself?
I mean, you probably don't even see half my hits. Like, they're just on the forecheck. So I'm not going and looking for hits or chasing it. But if there's an opportunity to be physical, it's the playoffs. It's not the regular season. So
when you guys don't shoot yourselves in the foot, don't take bad penalties, don't complicate. You're a pretty good hockey team. How hard? Is that easier said than done? Not making those mistakes and costing yourself on.
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably played better last game than we did this game. Stu was phenomenal. The chances that they did get, he was shut the door, obviously. And yeah, special teams is really important in the playoffs. So we've been probably one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the playoffs so far. And if we can shore up the special teams, which we're usually good at, then we'll be in a good spot.
About this team's ability to bounce back. So a couple of your better games have been after some, difficult losses, right? Like the Vegas one and last night. You guys have come back pretty solid.
That's the playoffs. You got to be able to punch back. It's a series. You got to find a way. It's a roller coaster of emotions, but you got to stay even keel. And I think we recognize how important each game is, but especially after a loss, you have to come out strong. And we got there in the split, and we were able to do it.
Does that just come with experience?
Yeah, I mean, partly, yeah, for sure. I mean, we've played in a lot of series. We've been, unfortunately, down in a lot of series after one, and we've been able to work our way back in most of them. So we got a lot of experience. Sugar?
Yeah. Needed your help there. Getting killed in here. Sorry. Stu obviously was good. You gave him credit, but I mean, you guys have pitched shutouts in 3 or 4 here. Like, just how many details need to be paid attention to for that?
Yeah, I mean, to get a shutout, your goalie has to be rock solid. Has to save the saves it needs to save. At the same time, in order to get a shutout, unless your goalie is out of this world, like, you got to play well defensively, and you got to limit those chances because there are some good players on the other team, and given enough chances, they've shown that they can score. So, combination of strong defensive play, but at the end of the day, a shutout belongs to the goalie, and there's a reason for that. He's the one making the saves, last line of defense, and he made some big ones.
Some tips, some redirects tonight, just kind of find ways to put pucks in the net. How important is that in the playoffs when checking's tight and there's not a lot of space out there?
Yeah, I mean, their goalie's a good goalie too. He made some huge saves, especially early on. But yeah, if you deflect pucks or you can't see the puck, it makes it a lot harder to save it. So that's a lot where a lot of the goals are scored.
So this is a rare instance where you guys probably won't touch the ice until they drop a puck in Game 3. Does that present, a different challenge? Is it easier to carry this effort over? What happens there? We haven't done that for a while.
I don't think I've ever played a playoff matinee game, so everybody's in the same boat. They're in the same boat. We got to come out strong. We're at home. I'm sure the crowd will be excited. So we'll be ready. There's no excuses. It doesn't matter if you play 5 overtimes and you got to play in 2 days, like whatever the case may be. Everybody's in the same boat, so it'll be a good one for us.
Those guys are going to be shot out of a cannon on Sunday afternoon, Game 3 at Rogers Place. That was Zach Hyman. Time now for Reed's Read, brought to you by Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. Fall in, golfers. Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club is open to the public, and memberships are still available. Join the ranks today and experience top-tier golf with a proud military tradition. For more info, visit egmgolf.com. To enlist, we bring in the fantastic host of the Reed Wilkins Show, Monday to Friday, 3 to 6, with Jay Milne and Ice Cube. Reed Wilkins, Reed Rick, I'll just get your initial thoughts on Edmonton's 3-0 victory as it gets a little bit rowdy here at the Hudson's location on Bourbon Street. Tommy's tab.
Oh, well,
they love my tab. There's T-shirts now.
I will chant your name all night long, buddy.
Okay, you.
I'm a little embarrassed I didn't already look this up. Okay, well, here's the thing. The Oilers Connor McDavid has played a playoff matinee game. I would think
where was
Zach
it?
Hyman has as well.
When and where? Was it?
It was in 2020.
Okay,
So,
that's why we forget it.
Has the start times for games in recent history. On August 1st, 2020, the Oilers played a 1 o'clock game against Chicago. That was game 1 of that series. And then game 4 of that series, in which the Oilers were eliminated on August 7th, started at 4:45. But this is when the NHL was basically like a minor hockey tournament where there were 3 or 4 games a day in the same arena. Tom,
I was going to say that doesn't feel real. Any of that did.
Yeah, I just emailed NHL Stats, and I regret not doing this before. I seem to remember that either in the late 90s or early 2000s, when the Stars, usually beat the Oilers in the first round, except for that one series, and I believe this was in a series the Stars won, there was a game at Skyreach or whatever it was called at the time that started at noon Mountain Time to accommodate American television. It might have been April 25th, 1999. But I've emailed NHL Stats to see if they have this. But certainly Connor McDavid and company has not played a playoff matinee that had fans in the building. That's certainly not a home matinee. So anyway, that's that. I know people like to know that. And people shouldn't be afraid with the Oilers playing a matinee because they've actually been, as they become a better team the last few years, they have been better in matinees as opposed to winning about I don't even know, about a quarter of the time, if that before.
They're much better, and I've had people recently be like, "Oh, those matinee games," and I'm like, well, hey, they win those more than they don't lately.
Yeah, and the travel's the same for both teams. It's going to be a long flight tomorrow for both teams, and then you just got to get up and play without a morning skate.
Yeah,
I don't know, we always assume that the American teams play more matinees, but I don't know what Dallas's count would have been this year. Well, I'm sure we'll get that by the pregame show on Sunday. Tom, the Oilers have dominated. Okay, let me put it this way. For about 53 minutes in this series, the Oilers have either been equal to, slightly better than, or vastly better than the Dallas Stars.
Yes.
And the 7 minutes or so they lost, they were shorthanded for most of the like 5-on-5. I don't think there's been any stretch 5-on-5 in which Dallas has been better than the Oilers. Yes, there have been shifts. Yes, there have been chances. Of course, that's playoff hockey. But I don't think there's been a 6, 7, 8 minute stretch where I felt, oh man, the Oilers are on their heels. Like here comes Dallas, 10 shifts in a row where they're controlling the play and Edmonton doesn't really have the puck. I mean, Edmonton's been very under control and very committed. And that's what I liked about tonight's game is the commitment. Like McDavid mentioned it, the forwards getting back. I mean, there were times, sure, the puck came to a Dallas Star in the high slot, and he looked up, and there were 5 Oilers between him and Stuart Skinner. I mean, obviously not in a line, but occupying the space where he would like to shoot or make a pass. And hockey can be a scrambly game. It's a game of mistakes and a bouncing puck and turnovers. Yes, the Oilers turned over the puck. Yes, they didn't always get it out at their blue line, but they always had somebody in a position to cover or somebody else in a position to get in the way. Or okay, we missed the pass. Okay, I'm just going to chop it out. I'm just going to nudge it out past the blue line. And you don't know how another team feels, but Dallas looked a little worn down in the last 10 minutes of that period. I mean, they had a little glimmer of hope when Nurse took the penalty, which was not a smart penalty. I mean, why do anything at that point?
No, that's true.
Checked him, but that's the time you just look at him and laugh and point at the scoreboard. I know that's easy for me to say, sitting on my couch. And I know
Hintz did initiate that contact read, Rick, though.
No, I know he did, but that's what I'm saying. I'd love it, and I'm nitpicking here because the Oilers played a great game. I would love it if Nurse just smiled at him and turned away.
So would I.
Pointed at the scoreboard. Don't even give them any life. But the Oilers killed it off. I heard what you said that DeBoer said. Yeah, what do you expect him to say? That's the playoffs, I mean, Hintz is one of their top players. He's not comparable to McDavid league-wide. I guess he might be somewhat comparable to McDavid and how he's used by each coach. But, I mean, that was not a 5-minute penalty. That was a 2-minute penalty. I don't like seeing a player get hurt.
No.
But, I mean, if DeBoer wants to drag it into the alley, well, then the Oilers can say, why do we have our third-line center pulled out of the game for an elbow to the head that wasn't called? Now, I don't think Robertson meant to do that, but it did lead to a player going to concussion protocol. So that's just a matter of which way you want to look at it. But just a committed game by the Oilers. They got a power play goal to give themselves the lead. They killed the penalties they needed to kill, and when Stuart Skinner was called upon, he made good saves, including one spectacular save in the third period. And yes, there were nervous moments around the Oilers' net. But again, I would suggest that's normal playoff hockey, and there were a lot more nervous moments around the Dallas net. I mean, think of the times the Oilers had the puck jammed into the Dallas crease and Ottinger shot a leg out or had a defenseman knock the puck away, or the Janmark play that goes off the post and then he's not able to flip in the rebound. I mean, the Oilers were just the better team in every zone today.
Reed, I asked Cass the same question. I'll ask you. Are you a little surprised, and maybe it's a case of the Oilers playing so well, but are you a little surprised with the big guns of the Dallas Stars kind of being quiet? And I'm not saying they've been terrible. They've had some looks, but I look at Mikko Rantanen that we thought would have a big impact. So far, he hasn't. Wyatt Johnson's the one that stands out to me. He's been kind of MIA here, Reed, in 2 games. What are you seeing from the top guys from Dallas, and is it a combination of the Oilers just playing that well?
Well, I think I'm surprised there hasn't been a little more from Rantanen, and now he's good enough that we could be eating our words in a couple of days because he is good enough to win a game almost by himself. I mean, he did it in Game 7 against the Avalanche. I think, with Robertson, now Robertson did have 5 shot attempts. What did Johnston wind up with?
I'm looking at it here. Do you have it?
Shot attempts and 3 shots on goal. But I think based on what the Oilers are working on defensively as well, they don't want to get burned off the rush. They focused on that against Vegas, and they're focusing on that against Dallas. So I think they're saying, okay, if these guys are getting a shot, it's going to be, we're going to make them earn the blue line. We're going to make them try to cycle and get a shot. And then if they get a shot, it's going to come through bodies. There were like Skinner made a lot of good saves, but he also made a lot of routine saves because Dallas was finally just like, God, we got to get the puck at the net. Mm-hmm. And it was a fairly routine save. So I think the Oilers are doing a good job. They're not turning over the puck. I heard you guys talking about Bouchard. I mean, it's true. He's not throwing the puck up the middle of the ice. He's going up the boards. Yeah. He's playing physical. I mean, not like I always say, he's not going to turn into Scott Stevens, but he's getting the way and he's rubbing guys out. I thought Bouchard might have had 1 or 2 sloppy plays with the puck in Game 1 that didn't burn them. But yeah, generally the puck's going to a safe area. And you guys were talking about with Cass, and we've really seen the Oilers commit to this as the LA series went on, and then certainly against Vegas. Nothing fancy, nothing risky. Get it out, and if you don't have something in the offensive zone, get it down behind the net. And now the Oilers have players who are bigger, who are sturdier, some who are even a little bit nasty, who have resolve, and they just forecheck. Like if you look at how that series went on against Vegas, the Oilers were like, great, have it along the dasher the entire game. We'll dig for it. We'll dig for it and force it to the net, and have Kane run over your goalie when Henry scores. That's their attitude. And then if you are losing a puck battle, okay, great. Dallas is getting the puck 197 feet away from the Oilers' net, and they got to come all the way up the ice to get it out. And they're tired from trying to engage in a battle with the Oilers' forecheckers.
That's tough hockey to play, man. And you got to be big, strong, mentally and physically engaged and able to endure that type of hockey. And that's you know what, Reed, I was just thinking as you were discussing that, I was just thinking that is the difference between the 2023 Edmonton Oilers and the 2025 Edmonton Oilers. You talked about their like sheer size and their strength. They had a lot of smaller, slighter guys. Now they have the big bodies that can grind it out. They have the big bodies that can also play skill. They got the skill that can dominate you. They have all these facets, and that it seems to be coming together at the right time. I am highly encouraged by it. I think a lot of us recognize it. I think there are some Oiler fans who maybe doubted it are starting to understand and recognize it as well. There's always going to be some that are never appeased, but I was watching Chris Knobloch, and I wasn't listening to him. They're playing it here at Hudson's on Bourbon Street, but I could see him smiling as he was listening to the question, to me, like, I like to read body language. I like to see, like, in people's eyes how they're reacting to things. That's a Dallas Aikens reference, and to the song on the Nielsen show. But watching Knobloch listen to the questions, his demeanor suggested confidence to me. So there's a lot of encouraging signs right now with this Edmonton Oilers team. And I feel like they are starting to trend in the way of the 22 Colorado Avalanche, where you can try to beat them in the alley, you can try to beat them with skill, you can try to switch up your style game to game. They will be ready for it. Do you see it that way? Do you think I'm a little bit ahead of myself? How would you assess that?
Sorry, Tom. I'm tweeting out the matinees, and I forwarded them to you as well.
Oh, that's okay. It wasn't the most brilliant thing I ever said, so don't worry about it. I'm not offended at all or hurt by it.
But they are confident. I don't think they're overconfident. I don't think they're cocky, but I think, the Oilers understand that if we keep this up, we are hard to beat 4 times in 7 games, or now
Right.
3 times in the next 5. I don't think they expect to go undefeated. I don't think they expect to get a shutout every game. I don't think they expect never to face adversity, but I think they understand we have the roster, we have the mental commitment, we have the physical ability, we have the experience, we have the resolve, we have the patience to wear teams down.
Yes.
And maybe that's the big, and we saw signs of it last year. You're right. Maybe that 2023 team didn't have that. And that's when I started calling Vegas the miserable bastards, because they just wore the Oilers down. They were like, we're tougher, we're smarter, we have a deeper roster. We're gonna beat you. And after, it was tied 2-2 after 2, and then Vegas won in 6.
Yep.
And now I think the Oilers feel they have that. Now, did I pick them to beat Dallas? Yes. Am I very encouraged by these 2 games? Yes. But Dallas has a win. This series is still very much in doubt, but I think Dallas has more to adjust to than Edmonton when you look at 5.
I think that's fair. This is Reed's Read. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. Reed's Read, as always, brought to you by Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf and Curling Club. Dave Minnock, who was here with Mary, great to see you guys, says that was a professional road playoff win. I think you're going to get 99.5% of people agreeing with you, Dave. Brendan says Reed needs to drop another Pipsqueak wimp. I wrote a limerick earlier, but the Coob butchered reading it. I guess the enters don't show up properly in your system. Randy hit send before he thought. Reed's reaction was fiery and hot. Now the Pipsqueak wimps in. About the zip, like the gimp. Balls to say to your face. He has not. There's a good limerick there from Brandon.
Email them. They don't show up well in the extra.
They don't. It is a formatting thing. And then Brandon caught the eyes reference that I said. He said, Tommy saw it in his eyes. Nuge narrowed his eyes. Eyes. If you listen to the morning show and the songs brought to you by Totem Sports, you would know exactly what we're talking about. This text says, with Klingberg being an offensive defenseman, I think he's really helping Bouchard learn how to be that elite offensive defenseman. He's a stud of a leader, and how better for Bouch to learn from. LFG Oilers. RBM says, eyes. Yes, thank you for catching that. Everybody that caught the eyes reference, I appreciate that. Byron texting in says, hey, boys, big win tonight. Skinner got the job done. Do you see any lineup changes for Sunday? Ekholm would be nice to see back for Game 3. They have played great 5-on-5. Grade A chances. We're in favor of the Oilers tonight. Few momentum changes, but overall, a great game. Byron out of Winnipeg. Lineup changes, Reed and Ekholm. I know we're going to talk about him because he's on the ice. What would you say? And then please tell me your thoughts on Stuart Skinner as well.
I don't think they'll make any lineup changes unless Ekholm is very, very close to 100%.
I'm very doubtful that is the case.
I don't know if he is. Stetcher's interesting, eh? Like he is overmatched. Let's face it, he is overmatched.
Always.
He just never quits. Like they showed that play shorthanded where he hit the guy at the blue line, and Dallas still worked it into the corner, and Kulak went in there and got bumped and just chipped it behind the net, and Stetcher just swooped in, beat everybody to the puck, skated around the net, and iced it. I don't think they'll make any lineup changes if everybody's healthy. I thought Frederick played better tonight. Quite frankly, I wasn't enamored with Kapanen's game one. He was better tonight. So I don't think they're going to change anybody. I got to bring up our boy Pud Colson, Tom.
Okay.
Like if he could handle the puck, he'd be a point-a-game player. He is always in the right spot. He plays hard. He makes smart plays. He hits. He's responsible. And obviously he's a bigger body. Like I think he's been really good. I still don't always love him with Draisaitl because I think sometimes the plays die with him.
Mm-hmm.
That line they had Janmark, Arvidsson, and Podkolzin earlier in the playoffs. I think we're going to see that line again before the end of the season at some point, just because I think Arvidsson might come back in and they'll shuffle something up. But yeah, with Stuart Skinner, look, he didn't allow any goals. That's ultimately the job of the goaltender. He made one spectacular save. Yes, maybe you would have liked him to move quicker across and stop it with his body, but he kept it out. I thought I actually thought on the TV broadcast they overdid it. I thought, and I like Kelly and I like Craig a lot, but they had these highlights ready to go where it's like, oh, look, I don't know if he's steady. Like, I think they wanted that to be a story. Like, let's exploit this rattled, crazy goaltender. Okay. Yeah, I know there was that one he kind of reached behind him, but like the pucks didn't go in, and I thought he was pretty in control and recovered well most of the time. And even Simpson said it on that one time. He was like, oh, look at this. Skinner's all flopping around. And then it was like, oh, his stick got almost knocked out of his hand, and he got knocked down. That wasn't him. But he had a good game. I mean,
yes. He responded.
The goal is to win. The goal is to make the saves when your team needs them to be made, and he did that.
I'll be honest with you. I look at it like this. Your goalie's crap and he poops the bed one night. Yeah, I'll look at him and be like, you were a huge part of our loss tonight. But if you win the next game and he makes the big saves when you need them, he deserves all the credit in the world. And then I forget it and move on. And I feel like a lot of these players think that same way. It's not like that for everybody, obviously, but he responded very well. Me, as someone who covers this team as a broadcaster, am highly encouraged by what Stuart Skinner was able to do tonight. All right, Reed, I have one more thing for you. It is a text that comes in from Jake in Ontario. Jake in Ontario says, hey, guys, what do you think of Mason Marchment essentially threatening Darnell Nurse and the Oilers in his comments? Spec tweeted out the comments. I believe this is the quote. Spec's tweet says, Mason Marchment asked if the Nurse / carries over to Game 3. Quote, yeah, for sure. A lot of that stuff. You just keep it in the back of your mind, and if the opportunity presents itself, then you take your chance. We've got a long series here. Unquote. Reed, your reaction to that, please.
I mean, that's part of playoffs. I mean, it's intense. I mean, every team wants to get in there on the forecheck and pound the other team's defense. So, I'm sure if he has the opportunity to give Nurse an extra, or to take an extra half stride before he hits Nurse into the glass, he would love to do that.
Yes.
And quite frankly, sometimes revenge is served cold and something happens next season. I think, though, if the Dallas Stars go into next game making going after Darnell Nurse a priority, I think you might as well already give the Oilers a 1-0 lead, because then that's good. If they're that distracted by it, I don't think they will be. I think he probably means it as at some point we're going to try to get our pound of flesh. I don't know if they're going to try to fight him off the opening face-off or anything like that. But I mean, look, this is the beauty of the series, right? I mean, things happen that one team's fan base or coaching staff might think is dirty, and the other team's fan base thinks also thinks it's dirty, but they're glad they have that guy on their team. I guess is what I'm like.
Yeah.
No Oilers. I don't think any Oilers fans are saying that wasn't a penalty. I don't think any Oilers fan loved it. I don't think any Oilers fan would like to see Connor McDavid slashed like that. But no, it shouldn't have been a major. I mean, I think DeBoer is wrong with that. It wouldn't have been a major if it happened to McDavid. And again, Hintz did do something that prompted the slash. I still think Nurse should have done it. You know, if Nurse would have just skated up to Hintz and slashed him like that, completely unprovoked, maybe it would have been a major. Maybe where the refs would have been like, "What are you doing? Like, you can't just attack a guy."
Yeah.
But I just look at Marchment's comments as part of the gamesmanship of the series. He's a rugged, emotional player. But if it is an indication that the Stars are a little distracted by it, then good. But I really don't think they will be once the game starts on Sunday.
I'll also add, I don't think Darnell Nurse is scared one little bit about anybody from the Dallas Stars, to be honest with you. All right, Reed. Take a look ahead to Sunday afternoon. What do you expect?
Well, I quite frankly, I expect the Oilers to play as well as or close to as well as they played today, because they've shown they can repeat it, Tom. I mean, the Oilers playing this style of game is not a one-off. You know, they've basically done it 3 of their last 4 games. Or sorry, they've basically done it 4 games in a row, I should say, going back to the last series. And they lost game 1 because they got off their game a little bit and couldn't kill penalties. So I expect the Oilers to play the way they've been playing: steady, solid, rugged, resilient. And I think it's now up for I think the Stars, this is like, we're saying all these things about other teams that we used to say about the Oilers. I think the Stars want to find a way to play faster, you know? And yes, the Oilers want to play quick and precise as well, but they're also comfortable that it's going to be a little more of a, you know, we're going to hand the ball off 37 times and only throw it 18 type of game.
Boring. Friedrich, enjoy your Saturday. This was great as always, my friend. And I look forward to seeing you at Ice House and the arena on Sunday, all right?
Okay, take care, Tom. Take care, Hernan.
There you go. There's Reed's Reed, the fantastic, as always, Reed Wilkins. You can catch him Monday to Friday right here on Edmonton Sports Talk with Jay Milne on the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 to 6. Hernan, any follow-up? You got anything you want to add in there?
No, not really. I mean, when they play well, Tom, there's not much to really say. I mean, I agree with Reed. I think the Oilers continue to play this way. It's going to be a quick series. I think, and in part what Reed said as well, I think the larger adjustments are coming from Dallas. Chris Knoblauch looking at his team and he's saying, boys, we don't change much. I mean,
yeah,
seriously. So they're going to have the crowd on Sunday behind them. It's going to be an early game. People are going to be into the Wobblies early in the morning, Tom, and it's going to be a wild
mimosas for everyone.
Yes, mimosas. Love those.
Yeah,
so
they're fun.
I think the Oilers are, you know, we said a split was ideal for this team, Tom. It was the most realistic. They're coming home. They probably should be up 2-0 if it wasn't for those 6 minutes, but you take it and you move on, and I'm looking forward to game 3 in this team. It's just, I don't, it's weird because when you're positive, people kind of hate it, but it's like, I can't see Dallas beating the Oilers.
They played very good tonight. Yeah. Very good. They won 3-0.
They're a wagon, man. You watch Edmonton and Florida play, Tom, and it's no disrespect to Dallas and Carolina, who are excellent teams, but these two teams are on another level. They just are.
All right, let's get to the turning point of the game, brought to you by Advantage Sport Med and Physiotherapy. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. I was kind of debating on this one. I'm going to stick with my instinct. Actually, no. I'm going to stick with what it is. It is the turning point. And I think at first, I'll explain it this way. I was going to pick Connor Brown's goal to make it 3-0, Hernan, because remember on the pregame show, I said get that goal to extend the lead past 2, right? So I'm like, oh, brilliant. Go to Connor Brown late in the second period at 16:38 or 16:36, making it 3-0. However, where I felt there was a sigh of relief and a little boost in confidence for the team on the ice, probably the fan base certainly, was when Brett Kulak scored. He picked up his own rebound off the block shot and then tucked it home past Jake Ottinger from the slot. McDavid picked up the assist. Bouchard the other assist to make it 2-0 at 15:23 with that snapshot. To me, that'll be the Advantage Sport Med and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. I wanted to go with the Connor Brown goal to extend the lead, but I think it was when Kulak gave the insurance marker to the Oilers. That probably was more important and more of a turning point. So that's where we're going to go, is Brett Kulak, first of the postseason, at 15:23 of the second period to make it 2-0. And then not long after that, just a minute 13 later, Connor Brown would extend it. That was crucial, but it wasn't the turning point. So there you go. Brett Kulak's goal is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Hernan, let's get to the player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. You know Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Nancito, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, it can be many guys on this team, especially after that shutout win and where they were dominant. But listen, Tom, I'm not sitting here saying he's the best goalie ever to play. But when you have 3 shutouts in your last 4 games and you bounce back like you did tonight, made a couple really big saves, Stuart Skinner gets it. I mean, guy takes a lot of heat, a lot of crap, and probably a lot of Renassis don't like this right now. But Stuart Skinner, I mean, yeah, his 3 wins, he hasn't given up a goal, and tonight was no different. Hell of a bounce back. Stuart Skinner gets the Damon Bunting Player of the Game for the agency.
Well deserved.
Of course.
3rd shutout in the last 4 games. Why is it so hard to accept this?
Well,
it shouldn't be.
It's
okay to like your starting goalie, right?
And then people are comparing it to other stuff, and it's guys, like, he's got 3 shutouts in his last 4 games. Like we said, the Oilers have had a factory of great goalies, a factory, and I'm not ready to put Skinner there yet, and I don't think anyone is. But let's give him kudos when he deserves it, and he does. And yes, the team's playing phenomenal hockey, phenomenal. Okay, but you still need your goalie. Like, to sit here and not give him any credit is beyond ridiculous. So, listen, it's a positive, Tom. They won. They're coming home with the split. Let's end on a positive note. Stuart Skinner gets the player of the game. The team was awesome. Every guy played a role. No one on this team was under 10 minutes, Tom. Everybody had a role in this.
Good.
Everyone
That's
had a role.
That's a good sign. All right, let's wrap up with some texts. Thank you to everybody who texted in tonight. Nasty chat. It got nasty. Especially started hot with Dusty potential rant of the year for the Esties.
Yeah.
I told him that, and he goes, really? I'm like, I don't know. We've had some moments this year, but that one was certainly up there. Tamara the Wig Lady, who was here with Barry, says, turning point for me was killing that penalty. Killing the penalty was when I had a sigh of relief. Tamara, I was actually thinking about that penalty kill. It's important because we saw how bad the penalty kill was in Game 1, and it totally redeemed itself. Brandon texting in said, nobody on Dallas worth fighting could fight Nurse off the opening draw. Ben, maybe, but better to keep him on the ice. But Bichel for sure, but same thing. And he's a huge dude, but he's Swiss. I don't know if fighting is a natural instinct. Maybe. And then Brandon also adds, Marchment himself is in his weight class, I guess. Wouldn't mind that tell me neither. I still like Darnell because he's mean. He's from the mean streets of Hamilton. Smokey the Bear texting in says, oh no, Mason, don't take a stupid penalty and put the Oilers on a power play at home. That would be terrible, talking about Marchment. And then Smokey also added, the only time someone can, quote, Skinner got a shutout, can say, quote, Skinner got a shutout tonight, courtesy of the team in front of him, unquote, is if the opposing team literally records 0 shots on net. Thank you, Schmokey the Bear. Nolan out of St. Albert says, it's Stu's net. Debate with a wall. I don't care. It's his net. Stu. And then Nolan adds, there's a reason why Stetcher is beloved by every single fan base he's ever played for. He is an absolute dog and gives it his all on every shift. Great guy to have around the team. Nolan, you know what? That was a good text about Troy Stetcher. He's a dog. I like that. He does. The bark might not be mighty, but the fight in him certainly is. Your boy Barron says Stetcher has been solid. Another one says, Tommy, why was the slash on Hyman not an automatic goal? I don't know. I have such a hard time trying to figure out what the officials are deciding and to get into their minds. You know that. We've had this debate many, many times. Conroe, Texas says, he loves the Oilers game right now. Stars just throwing the puck at the net, hoping Rukbe can learn a valuable lesson, as the kids would say. I don't think I'm going to repeat that because I feel like there might be swears in there. Big Dave says, I think the way Knobloch is coaching right now reminds me of the way John Cooper coaches. Makes absolutely perfect roster moves and has been keeping them disciplined and focused and just has the whole lineup peaking at the right time. Thank you, Big Dave, for that text. Appreciate it so very, very much. The Gourdfather also wants to get this in there, says, why would the Nasties not like Skinner posting a shutout? We're happy when the team wins. Yes, Gourdfather, that's a good way to wrap up this show. Hernan, final words from you, sir.
Yeah, let's go Sunday. We'll see what the boys can do at home. I don't anticipate any line changes unless the big guy, Viking, is back.
I don't think he'll be back.
But
that's all I'm
let's
say.
go. It's going to be nice and early. Hernan and Tom like that. Home by supper time. So, let's go.
This was a very active, very lively post-game show. A lot to be happy about. Edmonton has won 5 of the 6 periods in this series, which is very, very encouraging. I think tonight should solidify the confidence in this fan base that this team is going to probably push through. Lots of hockey left. The Dallas Stars have something to say about it. It's not going to be easy. They're going to have to bust their butts. And there's no cakewalk here for sure, but super encouraging. I like where this is trending. More of that, please. And we're talking about an Oilers team going to the Stanley Cup final for a second consecutive year, likely against the Florida Panthers. Again, lots of hockey to be played. It continues Sunday, 1 o'clock puck drop. We are live on the air from the Canadian Ice House at Ice District, 11:30 a.m. Come join us, won't you? We certainly appreciate that. Big thank you to Steve and Adam and the crew here at Hudson's Bourbon Street. They're so good to us, and we really love being here. To all the Nasties, you guys turned out tonight, almost 30-plus Nasties. Such a good time, having a fun Friday. For Hernan Salas, Dustin Nielsen, Matt Kassian, and Reed Wilkins, I am Tom Gazzola, saying enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Enjoy your Saturday. Join us on Sunday for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Until then, ciao for now.